This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Owning your own business is a life-changing experience. Trust me, I've been a wedding photographer for 10 years now, and I would have never expected to be where I am currently in my life without running my own business. I've only been a full-time wedding photographer for 5 years now, so it's been 5 years since I quit my day job. But since it's Small Business Month, I want to talk to you all how to start your own photography business. Let's break down some of the steps that I think are the most important to get you started doing photography and making money from it. Now, keep in mind, I'm not going to talk about taxes or business licensing or anything like that. You're going to need to look up the information in your state because it changes from state to state. But what we are going to talk about are the main sections of starting a photography business, like gear, tools you need to use, setting up your social media, things of that sort, the important stuff. So, the first step to starting your photography business is getting some gear. Now, the biggest thing to keep in mind with this is not to buy too much. You're starting a business and you want your investment to be as low as possible because at the start, you don't really know if you're going to be making money. If you're over here spending all your money on gear, you're not going to be making money and you're going to be in the negative to start out. So clearly, if you need a business loan or a credit card to get some of your gear, go ahead and do that. Just keep in mind, you will be in the negative and you'll probably be in the negative for a while. For example, when I first started, I actually spent about 10K on a credit card and it took me about 3-ish years to finally pay that off. I would not suggest that for anybody. So when starting out with your gear, what I suggest is lowest entry possible. A couple of misconceptions that I would say to stay away from that you'll hear from everyone. If you're doing something like wedding photography, you need a full frame camera. That is not true. I shoot with Fujifilm, which is all crop sensor or APS-C, and you can see from my work, the photos look absolutely amazing. Again, at the end of the day, it comes to you knowing your camera and you taking great photos. If it's full frame, crop sensor, medium format, that kind of stuff doesn't matter. And your clients won't care either because they're not photographers. They don't even know what you're shooting on. If the photos look great, that's all they care about. So start out with 2 camera bodies. This way you have one body and a backup body. Personally, I would say to make them the exact same body. This way you can get your muscle memory of the camera under your fingers extremely easily. Muscle memory under your fingers is probably the most important thing that you'll need as a photographer, especially if you're doing something fast paced like concerts, events, wedding photography, and sports. Now, if you're going with prime lenses, I say 4 so that you can hit that same range: a 24 mil, 35 mil, 50 mil, and an 85 mil. The most important ones in that whole set are a 35 and an 85. Your longer focal lengths are going to be better for portraits. Your wider ones are going to be more environmental and capture more of the scene. So pick which route you want to go: prime lenses or zoom lenses. And the prices are probably going to even out depending on what you're getting, but prime lenses, in my personal opinion, tend to look better and they do let in more light because they have lower apertures. But it's all going to be expensive. So start slowly, get what you need, and get more as you start charging for your sessions. Also, you can't forget your storage. Get yourself some amazing SD cards and also SSDs for backup. I'm a huge fan of SanDisk and highly recommend them. In my 10 years of shooting with SanDisk SD cards, I've never had a failure, and I've even washed some of mine through the washer and dryer, and they've been fine. I do not recommend it, but it still works out. But you need all of this backup so that you won't lose your photos. The worst thing you can do as a professional photographer is lose the photos that someone paid you for. You'll want to get at least 4 SD cards, 2 per camera. This way you have an immediate backup while you're taking your photos. Most cameras that have 2 card slots will actually record to each SD card, so you have basically the same photo on both. So if God forbid one of your SD cards fails, well, you have another one with the exact same photos on it. Also, you want an SSD back home so you can back up to that as well. So then you have your 2 backups on the SD cards and 1 more on the SSD at your computer at home. Now we have our camera body, we have our lenses, we have storage, and then the last thing you'll need, especially if you're going to be a wedding photographer or shooting events, are flashes. Now, flashes can be intimidating, and a lot of people think that you have to have a whole plethora of different flashes, but you don't. To start out, 2 flashes on your camera is enough. You can get great results for it, and I've actually been shooting like that for years. I only recently started doing more off-camera flash at my weddings, but 2 flashes just on each of your cameras is going to be enough. With these 2 flashes, also get yourself some modifiers. This will make your flash look better while you're using it, and you're all set to go. And if you're not familiar with using Flash and want some great education to help you learn, definitely make sure to check out my Flash course. It's absolutely amazing, and it comes with my online community where you can ask questions, share your photos, and get feedback on your Flash photos as well. I'll leave that in the description below. So now we're all set with gear. We have 2 camera bodies, 2 flashes, 4 SD cards, 2 lenses. You're good to go. At this point, you need to start scaling your business so you can make that money back for the gear that you bought. So now that you have your camera set up, it's time to get out and start shooting. If you're new to photography, this is going to be all the practice you need to do to get better. I've said it before, but street photography is a great way to get started, get used to your settings, and get fast at your camera. When it comes to wedding photography and street photography, one thing that's the same in both of them is the fact that if you saw a moment, you can't stop people to go back and get the moment again. You have to see the moment and anticipate it before it happens, get set up, get your framing, get your settings right, and take the photo as it happens. And if you miss the moment, it's gone. So street photography is a great way to practice that. Also, it's very hands-off. You can just kind of sit back and take your photos. You don't really have to worry about too much. Also, while you're practicing, friends and family are a great way to practice, and you can offer cheaper shoots. Now, I'm a big fan of not shooting for free, only if it's an opportunity that you think is worth it. But if someone comes to you asking for free photos, don't do it. It should be a case where maybe it's a really good friend of yours and they're getting married, and you're like, look, I don't mind helping you. Be careful with that though. You need to let them know either your skill set and the fact that if the photos are bad, that's on them. Because don't do a free shoot for a wedding for a friend and have it fall apart. That's the absolute last thing you want. So get out there, practice, shoot often. While you're doing this, this is where you're going to figure out your niche. Whatever niche you want to do, hone in on it and figure out the skills you need for that specific niche. When I started, I shot basically everything and got to a point where I figured out that people and basically love is what I like shooting most, which is why I leaned into engagements and weddings. I used to do families, I tried newborns. I don't really do maternity too much, but I've tried all these things and they all just didn't really work for me. But engagement and weddings really stuck, and that's where I am today. So practice often, niche down, and figure out what it is exactly that you want to do in your business. So now that you've been taking some beautiful photos, you have all your cameras set up, you're getting used to taking photos, you need to get an online presence. There's 2 main places you're going to want to do this: social media and your own website. Now, social is great. It's a great way to get your work out there and have lots of people see it. It's also a great way to work with your community. As a wedding photographer, I'm working with planners, florists, cake makers, venues, so on and so forth. So whenever I post photos, I'm going to post a photo and tag all of them in it. This way they will reshare my stuff and possibly couples will see it and I can book more. This will be the same for basically any genre of photography. You want to figure out your community and all the big players in it and start tagging them online. Get yourself that social platform presence so that everyone knows who you are. They can find you and possibly hit you up for sessions. Outside of social as well, you'll want to get great web presence, which the easiest way to do that is with this video sponsor, Squarespace. Now, Squarespace is probably the easiest way to make yourself a website. You don't need any design chops at all. All you need to do is pick a template of theirs, plug in your photos, and you have a beautiful website. Now, this in my opinion is probably the most important step. Making a website is going to make your business look that much more legit. If you just have social media, you look like a person with a camera taking photos, and that's the last thing you want. Now, I know a lot of people might complain that starting photography is expensive and buying the cameras is expensive, but again, you're a business owner, not just a photographer. So you need to do the steps to look like a legit business. And Squarespace can definitely help you do that. Aside from their beautiful websites like mine here, you also have great features that help you run your business, like analytics to know who's visiting your website and from where, online courses, commerce, so that you can sell products. With all of this, you'll be able to run your business smoother and also look better online. I think they're even working on invoicing right now too. So really, Squarespace is a one-stop shop for you to help grow your business and web presence. Definitely make sure to check out the link in the description below for 10% off of your first website or domain. Build up your website, put all your work that you've been practicing in on it, and again, make sure it's in a niche. This way people know what you do and know that you're an expert at it. When you're an expert at one thing, you're able to charge more. Whereas if you're a jack of all trades, you're gonna have to shoot more often. And not saying not to do it, but just don't niche out too much. Like pick 2 or 3 things and that's it. And make them fairly relatable. This way it's like, okay, this person does this and I know exactly what they do and I know that they're great at it because I can see the work. Versus like, I'll just take photos of whatever. That's not a good approach. Now, once you have your website as well, you need to work on your SEO, which is your search engine optimization. By working on this, people are going to be able to find you on Google. And this is extremely important because social is great, but Google is probably the best place to make money. If people are searching for photographers and they're able to find you on Google, it's much easier to make money. Now, things you can do to help your search engine optimization is make blog posts of all of your sessions. And when you do these blog posts, title your photos the title that would be good for keywords. So for instance, if I shot a wedding at the Heights House Hotel, which is in my area, and I want to get more weddings there, then I will title my photos Heights House Hotel Wedding, so on and so forth. This way, when Google scrubs my website and they see that, that will be put in with the search. People will search for Heights House Hotel Wedding. My photos will come up, and then there's a higher chance of them actually hiring me for that specific venue. This is all stuff you can do inside of Squarespace easily, and when you have your SEO rocking well, you should be able to book easier with less work. This way you don't have to advertise all over the place. And also, if you have questions about advertising on social media or on your website with Google, just let me know in the comments below. So you've just hit the majority of what you need to do with your business. You have the gear, you have the practice and experience, you have a website and web presence as far as social and on Google. And the last thing you need to do is streamline your business. Streamlining your business is where you make money. It's where you scale. It's where you take on more clients. It's where you start hiring employees. And again, we need to stop thinking as just photographers and think as business owners. When you hire more employees, you scale more, you make more money. Everybody makes more money. Everyone's always so concerned about, oh, I don't want to pay for these services because it's expensive. Well, guess what? Businesses pay to play. You have to pay for services to scale your business efficiently. And the first thing you'll need to look into is a CRM. A CRM, or a client relationship manager, is the best way to handle all of your clients. And once you start shooting more often, you're going to need a good CRM that has automations built into it. I personally use HoneyBook, and I have a 50% off code in the description below. Make sure you check that out. But HoneyBook is how I'm able to keep up with all my clients, how I'm able to automate the majority of my emails, get paid online, and have contracts online as well. I'll be making a specific video about HoneyBook, which I'll link up here or in the description below once it's done. But basically, this is how I was able to handle 40 weddings in 1 year as a solopreneur. Basically, having a CRM is almost having your own assistant. You can have it set up so that when someone gets in contact with you, you reply to them immediately. Send out your pricing, send out scheduling information so that they can schedule a meeting with you, and you didn't have to do anything. You have it set up and automated. On top of that, with these type of workflows, you can have it automated even after they pay, so that everything in the pipeline is happening without you having to touch every step of it. And this frees you up to edit photos, to get in contact with couples when you need to, and not have to send every single email to your couples. It's highly recommended. If you do not have a CRM, you're going to fail in your business. And if y'all didn't know, the statistics is like in the first 1 to 3 years, I think it's like 60% of small businesses fail. If you know the statistic, please leave it in the comments below, but it's pretty drastic. So again, make sure you have a CRM so that you can actually scale and run your business efficiently and make money. So that's going to be your first assistant. The second one is going to be AI culling and editing. This is huge. I've been using AI editing for the last couple of years now, and it has saved me so much time. If you don't know my story, I have 5 kids and a wife. I have a lot going on. We homeschool. So I'm busy. I have lots to do and lots of different areas that I want to focus on between YouTube, wedding photography, and my family. So having AI culling frees up a lot of my editing time and a lot of my culling time so that I can spend it in other places. I like to do my AI editing with Imagine AI. And if you want to try them out, I have 1,500 free edits for you in the description below. I highly recommend it. The way it works is if you're already editing your photos, you have a style that you like, send them your photos, it learns your editing style, and it actually edits your photos. This is not a preset. This is a computer actually editing your photos. And it can edit 700 to 1,000 photos in like 5 minutes. After that, double check your photos to make sure they look great and you're all done. Also, if you don't have your style totally nailed down yet, there's talents built right into Imagine AI. This way you can use someone else's style while you're learning your own. My personal natural fills preset is built into Imagine AI, so if you want to edit like my photos, you could do that and you don't even have to edit. Imagine AI will do it for you. Now, again, the great thing about this is once you start scaling, it's easier for you now to shoot 10 weddings at a time and have them all edited within like 2 weeks because the majority of the work is being done by AI, and then you finish up everything and export it and deliver it to your couples. On top of that, Imagine AI just released their brand new culling studio. This makes it easy to pop in and see the choices that Imagine AI has made while it was culling. You can change star ratings. You can also see photos that were grouped together. And if you want to change one of those photos, you can select from the little pop-up that shows up when you're looking at a stacked group. This is a great way to cull your photos without having to do all of it manually 100%. Let Imagine AI cull and then use the culling studio to easily tweak any of the culling to fit your needs. So after you've culled and edited all of your photos, you'll want to deliver those in a beautiful way, which you can do that with PicTime. PicTime is an online gallery where you can deliver your photos to your couples, and this is a huge one. You may think, oh, I can just throw it in the Dropbox or Google, whatever. That doesn't look professional. These galleries look great. Give your couples a way to really view and feel their photos, download them, buy the downloads, buy prints, and you can be hands off with it. If you haven't noticed yet, the main goal in running your business is not to be turning your wheels the whole time, but letting assistants and other team members actually handle a part of that. With PicTime, I'm able to automate delivery of my galleries, automate album building because basically your couples can make their own albums, automate sales and downloads of the photos. So I can be very hands off, and if there's any problems, PicTime actually helps out with that. On top of it, there's also really cool AI features like the fact that you can find people from a wedding day by their face. By doing this, your couple doesn't have to go searching for 50 years to find photos of grandma. They can just see her face already selected, select that section, and see all the photos of grandma already together, even if you delivered your couple like 1,500 photos. So again, this is much better than just throwing in Dropbox and be like, here's a bunch of photos. Because making those print sales goes a long way. That's passive income at that point because you've already shot the wedding, you've already delivered the photos. So it's just like extra money after the fact. So definitely check out PicTime. I will link for them in the description below as well. And another tool that's highly important is going to be you budgeting. Again, you're running a business and you need it to be profitable. So spending your money on gear every other day or too many services or just not knowing where your money is going, especially not saving money for taxes, is going to end up bankrupting your business and you're not going to be able to continue running it. Now, the way I run my budget is through YNAB or You Need a Budget. I have a video about how I use YNAB. I'll link it right up here above. But basically, this is how I can divvy out my money, know what is going to where, and also save things if I need to. So like instead of just buying gear every time something new comes out, and throwing it on a credit card, I can actually save money for gear and have a little bucket for my gear so I know exactly how much money I have saved. This way, every time I get paid, I can section off my money and save a little for taxes, a little for me, a little for gear, a little for contractors, so on and so forth. And if you're not using YNAB, I highly recommend it. It is very manual, you are doing it yourself, but honestly, you need to be running your business and knowing what's happening with your money. Until you get yourself a CPA or an accountant, you'll have to do it manually. Then you can hire someone who can do it for you. But YNAB is a great way for you to actually know what's happening with your money. Once you have all your money handled, you have yourself a smooth running machine that you can now scale into multiple employees and make lots of money. And not only that, you'll be serving others by getting photos for them in their lives. Because remember, photos are something that will last for a long time past our own lives. This stuff may be passed down to the next generation. So it's very important. Think of it as I'm going to do this thing to serve others, and making money is a byproduct of me actually helping people. This is how you start your photography business. And if you want to learn more specifically about wedding photography, check out this playlist here.